Did you know that someone suffers a stroke every 40 seconds? And after the age of 60, this risk does not just increase, it skyrockets by over 500%. That number is not a guess. It comes directly from the official report by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC). What is more concerning is that many seniors eat healthy, exercise regularly, and still suffer a sudden stroke while sleeping or right after dinner. Why does this happen? You might be eating a fruit that seems healthy, but it silently disrupts the balance of blood vessels in your brain, especially when consumed at the wrong time or combined incorrectly with medication. In today's journey, I will share with you some extremely common fruits that may increase your risk of nighttime stroke, especially if you are over 60. This is not meant to scare you. It is a way to help you better understand your body and how to protect it every single day. If you are over 60, I encourage you to watch this video until the end. It could change the way you care for your health each day. What country are you watching this video from? Leave a comment below. Once you turn 60, your body begins to face a series of silent changes. Your blood vessels gradually lose elasticity, your brain receives less oxygen, and your blood pressure becomes harder to control, even if you maintain a healthy diet and lifestyle. This explains why. After 60, the risk of stroke not only increases, but skyrockets by more than 500%, according to a report by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC). What is even more concerning is that many cases occur at night, while the person is sleeping, with no warning signs at all. There is one little known reason behind this: a diet that includes fruits that may seem harmless, but can actually disrupt blood flow to the brain when consumed at the wrong time or combined improperly with medication. Some fruits can spike your blood sugar suddenly. Others contain compounds that thin the blood, cause blood vessels to constrict, or interfere with blood pressure or antidepressant medications, making blood flow to the brain unstable. The problem is not fruit in general, but a few specific types that are more likely to damage the brain's blood vessels in older adults, especially when kidney function declines, circulation is poor, or chronic medications are involved. A slice of mango before bed, a glass of orange juice in the morning, or a few pieces of star fruit at lunch could be the final link in a chain of risks leading to brain ischemia, brain hemorrhage, or a silent stroke. The sad truth is that very few people realize this until it is too late. The question is, which fruits are silently harming your brain every day, and how can you identify them? Coming up next, we will uncover the list of fruits that may damage your brain and increase your risk of stroke overnight, especially if you are over 60. The first fruit: dried figs. Dried figs are a familiar snack for many older adults. Naturally sweet, compact, and easy to chew. Many people believe they are a healthy choice for boosting energy, but behind that gentle sweetness lies a hidden risk that few are aware of. When figs are dried, their water content is removed, leaving behind a concentrated mass of free glucose and fructose. Just 4 dried figs can contain over 40 grams of sugar, which is equal to a can of soda. For seniors with high blood pressure, diabetes, or poor circulation, this amount of sugar is enough to trigger a blood sugar spike that damages the lining of blood vessels in the brain. According to a study published in Frontiers in Endocrinology in 2019, post-meal blood sugar spikes can lead to stiffening of cerebral arteries, a major cause of ischemic stroke. That is not the end of the story. Dried figs are also high in oxalates, compounds that can bind with calcium to form crystals. In older adults with declining kidney function, these crystals are difficult to eliminate and can build up in the blood vessels, causing inflammation of the vessel walls and increasing the risk of plaque rupture. Additionally, many dried figs on the market are preserved with sulfites, a substance known to reduce the production of nitric oxide, the molecule that helps blood vessels relax. When nitric oxide levels drop, the arteries narrow, blood pressure rises, and the brain receives less oxygen-rich blood. If you often eat dried figs in the evening, this might be one of the reasons your sleep is restless and you wake up feeling unusually tired. The second fruit, star fruit. Star fruit is a popular tropical fruit in many countries, often used to cool the body, make salads, or juice. But few people know that this seemingly harmless fruit contains a powerful neurotoxin called caramboxin. In healthy individuals, caramboxin is normally filtered and excreted by the kidneys. However, in older adults, kidney function naturally declines with age, allowing this compound to build up in the bloodstream. It can then easily cross the blood-brain barrier and affect the central nervous system. The initial symptoms may include dizziness, nausea, confusion, and in more severe cases, seizures, coma, or even death. A report published in the journal Nephrology Dialysis Transplantation in 2003 documented several fatal cases in dialysis patients after drinking just a small glass of star fruit juice. But the danger is not limited to those with diagnosed kidney disease. Even people who have never been told they have kidney problems can be affected, as the body's natural filtration slows down after the age of 60. When this toxin accumulates, the brain becomes overstimulated, leading to blood vessel constriction, inflammation, and the formation of microclots. This is one of the triggers for acute ischemic stroke, especially when star fruit is consumed in the evening, just as the body is preparing for sleep. Although star fruit may taste refreshing and tangy, it is not a safe choice for older adults, especially those taking blood pressure medication, diuretics, or blood sugar regulators. The third fruit, bananas have long been considered heart healthy due to their high potassium content, which helps regulate blood pressure. However, for people over 60, especially those taking blood pressure medications or diuretics, bananas can become dangerous if not consumed properly. Many common blood pressure treatments, such as ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics, already raise potassium levels in the blood. When you add 1 or 2 bananas to your diet each day, your blood potassium may spike suddenly, leading to a condition called hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia causes the heart rate to slow down abnormally, which may reduce oxygen flow to the brain, leading to dizziness, confusion, fatigue, or even sudden collapse. According to the American Heart Association, excessively high potassium levels in the blood can slow the heart rate to a dangerous level, cutting off oxygen to the brain and resulting in ischemic stroke. A study published in the journal Nephrology Dialysis Transplantation also found that hyperkalemia caused by bananas can produce symptoms within 12 hours, especially in individuals with impaired kidney function. The issue is not the banana itself, but the combination of bananas, medications, and the timing of consumption. It is especially risky to eat bananas in the morning along with blood pressure medication, when the body is more sensitive and likely to overreact. If you are on cardiovascular medication, be cautious when eating this fruit every day. The fourth fruit, cherries. Cherries are a favorite fruit for many people thanks to their sweet flavor, rich antioxidants, and reputation for reducing inflammation and supporting sleep. However, for older adults, especially those taking blood thinners or with a history of high blood pressure, cherries may pose a hidden risk to brain health. The reason is that cherries contain a high amount of natural fructose. When absorbed, fructose is processed directly by the liver, which raises uric acid levels in the blood. According to a study published in the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases, high uric acid levels can narrow the microvessels in the brain, increasing the risk of ischemic stroke, especially in people over 60. In addition, Cherries contain salicylates, natural compounds that thin the blood. When combined with aspirin, omega-3 or anticoagulants such as warfarin, the blood thinning effect is amplified. This increases the risk of internal bleeding in the brain, especially if cherries are eaten in the evening or before bedtime. For those with fragile blood vessels or a history of transient ischemic attacks, even a small bowl of cherries could pose a serious danger. Although cherries are tasty and easy to eat, they must be consumed with caution and awareness in older adults who are on medication. Otherwise, what seems like a healthy snack could become a hidden threat to the brain. The fifth fruit, grapefruit. You may have heard that grapefruit helps with weight loss, detoxification, and heart health. In fact, many diet plans begin with a glass of grapefruit juice in the morning, but for older adults taking medication, this fruit may be more dangerous than you think. Grapefruit contains a unique compound that inhibits an enzyme in the liver called CYP3A4. This enzyme is responsible for metabolizing more than 85 common medications, including drugs for high blood pressure, blood thinners, antidepressants, and medications for irregular heartbeat. When this enzyme is blocked, medications are not broken down properly, leading to a buildup of the drug in the bloodstream beyond the safe limit. This raises the risk of side effects without the user even realizing it. A study published in the journal Clinical Pharmacology and Therapeutics found that just one grapefruit a day can increase drug levels in the blood by 3 to 5 times, with effects lasting up to 72 hours. The consequences can be serious. Sudden drops in blood pressure, dizziness, and reduced blood flow to the brain may occur, increasing the risk of stroke caused by cerebral hypoperfusion. Older women are especially vulnerable due to slower drug metabolism with age and changes in hormone levels. Therefore, if you are taking any form of medication, it is best to limit grapefruit consumption and consult your doctor before adding it to your daily diet. The sixth fruit, oranges. Oranges have long been seen as a symbol of good health, rich in vitamin C. They are a common part of breakfast in many households. But for people over the age of 60, especially those taking blood pressure or antidepressant medications, oranges, especially orange juice, can carry hidden risks for the brain. The problem comes from the high fructose content in orange juice. A single glass of juice may contain the sugar of 4 to 5 whole oranges, but without the fiber, allowing sugar to be absorbed into the bloodstream very quickly. According to a study published in the journal Stroke in 2015, fructose causes a rapid spike in insulin, followed by a sharp drop in blood sugar. This leads to inflammation in the lining of the blood vessels, making them more prone to damage. Additionally, oranges contain tyramine, a compound that can interact with MA-type antidepressants, causing a sudden spike in blood pressure. If not addressed quickly, this can lead to a brain hemorrhage. Many older adults drink orange juice every morning to boost immunity, not realizing that if they are on medication, this habit may silently increase their risk of stroke within just a few hours. The key is not to avoid oranges entirely, but to understand your body, control the portion, and choose the right time to consume them. The seventh fruit, apples. Apples are often linked with a healthy image. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. However, for older adults, especially those with poor circulation or a tendency to form blood clots, eating too many apples, especially with the peel, may unintentionally increase the risk of stroke. The reason is that apples contain quercetin, an antioxidant often praised for its benefits, but in some studies, it has been shown to stimulate platelet aggregation, making the blood thicker in older individuals. A study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that quercetin increases the production of thrombin, a key enzyme in blood clot formation, in seniors, where arteries are narrower and vessel walls are weaker. thicker blood means a higher risk of brain vessel blockage. Additionally, apples contain sorbitol, a type of sugar alcohol that can redirect blood flow away from the brain and toward the digestive system, especially if large amounts are consumed at once. For older adults who eat a high carb, low fiber diet or drink packaged apple juice, each bite of apple, though it may seem healthy, can gradually add to the burden on the blood vessels. There is no need to eliminate apples completely, but it is wise to reduce how often they are eaten. Pair them with high fiber foods and observe how your body responds after eating. The eighth fruit, pineapple. Pineapple is a tropical fruit loved for its sweet taste and high content of digestive enzymes, especially bromelain, but for older adults, particularly those taking blood thinners such as aspirin, warfarin, or omega-3 bromelain acts as a natural anticoagulant, making blood clotting take unusually longer. A study published in the journal Food and Function in 2022 found that bromelain may increase the risk of intracranial bleeding by up to 38% in seniors if consumed regularly. That is not the only concern. Pineapple's high acidity can stimulate the vagus nerve, which affects heart rate and blood pressure. In older adults with an unstable autonomic nervous system, eating cold pineapple or consuming it on an empty stomach may lead to a sudden drop in blood pressure, causing reduced blood flow to the brain. Pineapple also contains large amounts of natural sugars like fructose and glucose, which can increase inflammation, promote plaque buildup, and weaken blood vessels, making them more prone to rupture. What makes it more worrisome is that many seniors eat canned pineapple soaked in syrup, thinking it is convenient, but in reality, it adds a high amount of sugar and bromelain to the body. Just a few slices a day may seem harmless, but could lead to dangerous accumulation in the brain's blood vessels, especially when the body is weak, tired, or under long-term medical treatment. The ninth fruit, mango. Mango is a tropical fruit often called the king of fruits thanks to its sweet aroma, pleasant taste, and rich vitamin content. However, for people over 60, mangoes carry several hidden risks for blood vessels and brain health, especially when eaten at night or alongside medication. One large mango can contain over 30 grams of sugar and more than 45 grams of carbohydrates, which is more sugar than a slice of chocolate cake. For those with insulin resistance or metabolic disorders, this amount of sugar can inflame the endothelial lining of blood vessels, increasing the risk of ischemic stroke. In addition, mangoes contain tyramine, a compound that can interact with MAOI antidepressants, causing a sudden spike in the blood pressure. If the blood vessels are already fragile, this can lead to a brain hemorrhage. Mangoes also contain high levels of soluble fiber, which may slow down the absorption of medication, making the drug's effect harder to predict. Some older adults enjoy eating cold mango after dinner or blending it into a smoothie, but the combination of cold temperature, high sugar, and late night timing can trigger a condition called postprandial hypotension, which reduces blood flow to the brain during sleep. A sweet mango may seem harmless, but sometimes it becomes the last straw that leads to serious damage to the brain's blood vessels. You have just gone through a list of fruits that may seem harmless but silently raise the risk of stroke, especially for those over the age of 60, from sugar-rich dried figs and neurotoxic starfruit to grapefruit and mango that interact with medications. Each fruit has its own mechanism that affects blood vessels, blood pressure, or brain function. This does not mean you have to completely eliminate all of these fruits. What matters is knowing how to adjust the timing, portion size, and combinations according to your current health condition. After the age of 60, the body no longer reacts as flexibly as it used to. Just one slice of fruit eaten at the wrong time, or combined with the wrong medication, can become the trigger for a sudden drop in blood flow to the brain or unexpected low blood pressure at night. Early awareness and small changes in daily eating habits can help you take control of your brain health, improve circulation, and live longer. You do not need to do anything drastic to be healthier each day. Simply start by reading food labels carefully, cutting back 1 glass of orange juice in the morning, or skipping mango as a dessert at night. That alone is already a meaningful step forward. If you found today's content helpful, please subscribe to the channel and share the video with your loved ones. We will continue to bring you simple, science-based tips that are easy to follow and tailored for older adults. Have you ever experienced any reactions after eating fruits from this list? Share your story in the comments. We are always listening.